Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing one of the saddest downfalls in the history of the UFC, and that is none other than Jamal Hill. Guys, if you've been paying attention to the MMA world these days, man, Jamal Hill, I have different videos on my channel breaking down some of the delusional, interviews that he's done, delusional remarks, comments, whatever you want to call it. We're looking at the downfall of Jamal Hill, in my opinion. All of what we're seeing from Jamal Hill was so strange to me. I almost forget that this guy's fighting in about 2 weeks at UFC 303 against Carlos Ulberg. Now, anytime we see a fighter that seems like they can't get over their most recent loss, but yet all they can continue to talk about is that loss that they suffered while being signed on a quick turnaround to take on another opponent, it never tends to end well. I've been around guys that, in the fight game where it's been the same kind of thing and it usually never ends well. You have to be able to move past the loss that you've had. If you can't move past it, don't take another fight. You have got to be able to flush that down the drain and move on. And Jamal Hill has clearly not done that. So we're going to take a look at what Alex Pereira had said and then look at Jamal Hill's just embarrassing response. So first, Alex says, "To be honest, I kind of don't know why he's doing this so late to be almost 2 months. People usually do that right away, but maybe he just woke up from the knockout." That's kind of funny, right? Alex Pereira's Jamal Hill just keeps running his mouth, man. And whether it's an interview, whether it's on his podcast, him posting on social media, he always has something to say about Alex Pereira. So then we'll look at what Jamal Hill, his clever reply is. He says, "Funny, only one of us had been knocked out unconscious, needing oxygen and multiple people's help to wake with your toes curled. Don't worry, I'll remind you of that feeling very soon." What a reply, Jamal Hill. What a reply. Celebrating another man's KO over the guy who knocked you out. It's just crazy, right? I never thought that we would see the day where a former light heavyweight champion who went out there and put on, granted, a pretty good performance against Glover Teixeira. That was a one-sided beatdown where Jamal Hill did look really good. And props to Jamal Hill for vacating the title, allowing the division to move on. But ever since he has came back, he has just been absolutely delusional. And for whatever reason, Alex Pereira is living rent-free in this man's head. I get wanting to talk a big game. I get wanting to be fiery, to try to build up the main event for UFC 300 and kind of build yourself up, right? You've been away for a while. You had a serious injury. I get all of those things. And I understand. You want to, get back on the high horse. You want to fire yourself up. You're going in there against a scary guy in Alex Pereira. But there comes a point in time where you have to just move on. You just got to be like, look, man, I was in there. This guy, he's a high-level striker. I got caught. There was a weird moment with the referee. Maybe I get to run that back with him one day and we can square it off or square it away. That would have been fair. I would have had no problem with that. Let me know down below if you guys would have had a problem with that. I feel like we all would have been like, okay, whatever. And we all could have, been like, oh, he doesn't win or what. But that's besides the point. To come out there and celebrate another man's knockout over the guy that knocked you out is just one of the lowest and corniest things I've seen, man. That is crazy. Jamal Hill's acting like he just didn't get starched by Alex Pereira at UFC 300. But let's put all that aside. To me, it's very concerning anytime we see a fighter, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, where you see a guy who's so hung up on a loss. This really has to be just eating at Jamal Hill every day. I feel like he wakes up in the middle of the night, oh, Alex Pereira, oh, Alex Pereira. He turns and he's pulling back the shower curtain to get in there for a shower. And he's like, ah! He's just Alex Pereira is living so rent-free in this man's head that he is not able to function and not able to go a day without thinking or wanting to say something about Alex Pereira or the fight that happened with him. And not only is Jamal Hill taking a fight that I just don't think he's in the right mindset for, he's going in there against a guy who is a way harder fight than what he originally had in Khalil Roundtree in an opponent in Carlos Ulberg. Because I believe Carlos Ulberg is going to knock Jamal Hill out within the first 2 rounds. And I think that this is going to be the beginning of the end, so to speak. Definitely the downfall, in my opinion, of Jamal Hill. Just, guys, when you are a fighter and you're going out there, you suffer a loss, things happen, you get caught, you get submitted, you get whatever happens. But being able to just be like, look, I got caught, something happened, it didn't go my way, let me get back on the high horse. It was a long layoff, it was an injury. I hope I get that one back one day. That's all you have to say. But to sit there and continue to try to build this narrative like, oh, if Herb Dean didn't do what he did, that he wasn't going to get knocked out. Like I've been mentioning multiple times, I've said in different videos on my channel, Jamal Hill was being set up from the beginning. You saw Alex Pereira starting to beat up the lead leg. You saw him start to throw the jab to the body. He was setting up the left hook the entire time, putting out that lead hand, touching the lead hand of Hill, getting the timing. He was setting him up from the very beginning. So to sit there and act like if Herb Dean didn't do that, it was just a matter of time before Alex Pereira was able to land the left hook. Now, I do think Jamal Hill is a talented fighter. I do think that he is a good fighter. But whenever you are not in the headspace and you're still living on the past of what you did, and you can't let that loss go, and you're going out there against a young, dangerous, hungry contender like a Carlos Ulberg, I just don't think this ends very well for Jamal Hill at UFC 303. I think he gets knocked out within the first 2 rounds. Until he can accept the loss against Alex Pereira, I don't think we see the same Jamal Hill. But I want to hear from you all down in the comments. Like this video, comment your thoughts below, subscribe to the channel, help your boy out. I would appreciate it. See you next time.